Hey, this is Vic. I am the producer of Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi. I am also known as Producer Vic. For those of you who are fans of the show, you have probably heard me before. I just want to let you know that you can find out more about Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi and Kevin and George and all that marvelous stuff by going to busydadsdosci-fi.com, or you can give them a follow at Instagram at Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi. Kind of marvelous, isn't it? The way it's all Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi. Oh, which reminds me, you can also email us at busydadsdosci-fi@gmail.com. And, if you want to subscribe to us, we're on iTunes, we're on the Google Play, the Google Podcast. We're also on Spotify, which is kind of amazing. I had to cook up a special deal with them for that. But, maybe drop by, give a subscription, and if you really like us, you could give us a rating or even a review, and hey, that'll keep us all in seltzer and ice cream, which the boys love, And that's all we're trying to do is bring you the best sci-fi podcast delivered by a couple of busy dads, And of course, me doing my part, producing, and being named Vic. Thank you very much.
Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi.
What are we talking about again?
Don't
Me, man.
You know what I want to talk about?
What do you want?
No seltzer.
What are you
I
talking
think there's been no seltzer in the Burbank studios.
Got a seltzer right here.
Oh, is there?
Oh,
George, that's looking a lot like one can to me.
Do you not have a seltzer?
No.
Oh, jeez. I feel kind of bad now sitting here with this.
Yeah.
There's
clearly Vic came and visited before I got here.
Well, there's a new standing order. Basically, when we move into a new space.
Hold on, George. I'm trying to drink my flat, strange water out of the bottle that should have been washed months ago.
I can't hear any fizzy from the bubbles. Okay, it's normal water. All right.
Bacteria makes no sound as it screams down your throat to tear up your intestines, man.
Do you ever picture that? I mean, think of all this, just the little tiny creatures that are constantly swarming around your body.
They're on you, right?
They're in you, on you, like the only thing staving them back is our immune system.
In you, on you,
on you, who is a Norwegian director.
In you, on you.
We're going to talk about one of In You, on You's films today, right?
One of his most famous pieces was The Hour of the Turtle.
Oh my gosh, the sequel to the Minute of the Snail, which was equally slow.
Yeah, The Second of the Sloth, one of the short films earlier in his career.
Yeah. It's part of the whole Slow and Steady saga, which In You, on You is known for. It's all style over substance. Mm-hmm. Most of you probably haven't heard of In You, on You.
In You, on You, oddly enough, suffered from ennui.
Oh wow!
Late in his life,
and ennui was his fiancée, correct?
Kind of like a Yoko Ono, but in a more of
I've
a
heard about that, and I've
I've got ideas for you, director relationship.
I believe I've read some of her shorts. Yeah. They're surprisingly violent for someone named Ennui.
A lot of scissors. Yeah. Always with the scissors.
Scissors and knives.
Yeah, just wow.
I don't know.
Another guy with chest in his scissors. What'd he do? He liked birds. I don't know.
Tell a movie about it there.
Mm-hmm.
Ennui, Ennui. In You, on You.
And his wife, Ennui.
Ennui, on You. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There's no topping that.
Yeah, you can't. Really. We should just stop the recording.
We're all over the place. I wish that I could, but I actually have no control over that whatsoever. We come into this room. Is that just
because you can't reach the mouse with this new mic setup?
It is a little ostentatious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Generally what happens is we come into this room and we sit down and within seconds, it just starts recording, and we have to just go. Now, that speaks not only to our consistent level of mental preparation when it comes to all things sci-fi, but it also speaks to the absolute mystery of why we're doing this show, who we're doing it for, and why do I suddenly feel so trapped.
I'm reminded of the movie The Cube.
Oh, wait.
But in
which
the
one?
podcast... Oh, shit. There's I know I shouldn't have mentioned
No,
that to you.
I'm sorry. Are we talking about the Canadian movie The Cube, or are we
talking
talking
about the one that I think was cool in the 90s.
Or are you talking about The Cube? Yeah.
The Cube.
Not Cube.
Where you had to get out of multiple cubes.
Okay. Then
A bunch of people, and some people maybe got cut.
There's a sequel to that, too.
Really?
Yes.
Squared?
Yeah, Cube. Oh. You know, I really think that might be the title. Like, it might be Cube
It's like
and then a little
lesser
2.
than.
But
What's to the
before,
fourth power?
Quadrupled. Quadded.
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
No. Unlike ennui. Oh, anyway. But before The Cube was Cube, which was a Jim Henson straight-to-TV sci-fi film about a guy who's trapped in a cube, and different people keep on showing up. It's freaking amazing. Like, it's really trippy, and it's before he ever got involved with the Muppets or anything. He wrote and
I have a
directed
gift,
it.
George, and you know what I think? That movie's not amazing.
It's amazing.
What year was it made?
Like 1960.
It cannot be good.
Why? Why? Because it's in black and white?
Well, probably, or near enough to New Color.
Near
Is it in
enough
black
to-
and white?
Can you state that sentence
New
again?
Color? That's like Nouveau Rich?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Near enough to New
Right.
Color.
You know what I love?
What's that?
The second half of Wizard of Oz. You know why? Color.
All right.
Or the first, I guess the second.
It's more like
it's the second 7/8, isn't it?
Yeah, because
The
I mean,
second
really
7/8.
only the first.
Eighth.
But then the end is back in black and white again.
They call that back in black.
They
and
call
white.
that back in black and white with red shoes.
Yeah.
Ennui. Man, I'm George.
What, you're doing that?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
I'm Kevin.
Good.
They know this.
Some of them don't.
Listener.
There is always
Listener, thank you for
there's
your mail,
always
by
a
the way.
newcomer out there, Kevin, and that's what we're here for.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you guys are the
Busy Dads is responsible to turn people on to sci-fi in the visual media? What
No,
are we
we're not.
responsible
We're
for,
auditory
George?
media.
Auditory media.
You mean what are we responsible as far as the content?
Yeah.
Well, it's been movies for quite some time because George is lazy.
George don't read. Actually, George secretly reads.
George don't read. George
What you
occasionally
read?
reads.
The works of Ray Bradbury, Highland.
George reads
That's
books.
not sci-fi.
George reads books he's read
What are you reading
10
right now?
times before. I am not reading. I'm reading a graphic novel version of To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, that's reading with air quotes, people.
Yeah, it's I'm looking
Of
at
To
pictures.
Kill a Mockingbird?
Yeah.
Have you read To Kill a Mockingbird?
I mean, I'm reading a graphic novel.
You've never read it?
No. Should I?
Oh my God!
Is it sci-fi?
Totally.
No, it's not.
It's got a weird beast in a house and a shift of perception.
Boo, I thought that was Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
And a shift in perception. That does sound sci-fi. Speaking of shifts
It's all
in
about
perception.
the 180 on the porch in the last bit of that book, buddy. Just going to say that right now.
you know,
For all
I'm-
those of you who care, you know I just nailed it.
I hear that the book ends with, like, the townspeople making Boo Bradley pies and stuff. Like, hey, way to go, way to murder that guy.
Out of his meat?
Yeah.
Boo Radley meat pies? Yes.
They're making,
And a couple mockingbird pies, too.
they make Boo Bradley meat pies out of the corpse of the guy who was chasing
Boo Radley.
Scout and
Yeah, you know what? You know what's great?
what?
You put a Boo Radley
Boo
burger
Bradley.
on a George Foreman electric grill.
Nice.
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
And they had those. They had those back then.
they did.
Yeah, George Foreman electric grills. Mm-hmm. Man,
It was a griddle back then.
how you been?
I've been great, man.
Yeah, me too. You reading?
Yeah, of course I'm reading.
What are you reading?
I have finished the Blue Remembered Earth trilogy by Alistair Reynolds. I read a great book called The City and the City by China Melville, my first China Melville book.
It's Herman Melville's father. Right?
No.
The guy who
No.
wrote Moby Dick.
No.
Sure.
It's spelled all weird. Dude, he was, sometimes. Actually, the last time it happened when we were reading Ready Player One, I kept looking at the picture of the guy on the cover and going,
Ernie
this
Klein?
D-bag.
Oh, God.
This D-bag. And throughout the book, because it was a harder to love book, but it turned out to be very, very cool. I kept looking at him, and the back of the book is him, and China Melville, which is Mieville, it's like Melville, he has like double earrings, and he's like shaved bald, and
that's cool.
I mean, it's fine, but not on the back of the book I'm reading, because then I was like, your mind doesn't say this. Clearly his mind did say this, but it was about a city in Europe that crosshatched with another city simultaneously, and the people who grew up in one city were raised to unsee the other city. But you might have to dodge traffic from the other city because they share streets, but by different names, and you learn to not actually see that, or you breach. And breach is a mythical entity which knows if people have done these sort of things, and there's a murder that's happened. So it's a crime procedural split between a fantastic city. And it was very cool.
Very cool, man. You just reminded me with the pictures on the back of covers. When I was a kid and I used to read Wizard magazine, they always had the top 10 comic book artists and then top 10 comic book writers, and there were like headshots of each of them. And generally, comic book writers and comic book artists are not geared towards headshots.
Yeah.
So I would see like what were my heroes, and it would be like, okay, Frank Miller, yeah, he looks crazy. Alan Morrison, he looks crazy. And then there's Todd McFarlane. It's like, he looks like a softball coach. And I remember being so excited for the Spawn animated series that was going to be on HBO, and it was introduced by Todd McFarlane. And he turns around in his chair, and it's very gothic. And he goes, actually clears his throat. Hi, I'm Todd McFarlane. Welcome to Spawn. It was just so disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds... Ugh.
Yep. Sometimes, you're not supposed to meet your heroes.
No. You're definitely not supposed to find their addresses and hang outside their houses.
For several days in a row.
I am glad, I don't know if you'd call them visitations that we were getting at the Highland Park studio have stopped. Some of the people who figured out where we were recording, they haven't chased us down here yet.
I would call those intrusions. Yeah. Yeah, there was certainly
and you get visited, and then they throw eggs at the house, or the tires slashed.
Yeah, then the weird dolls' heads that would just show up outside my windowsill. Kind of strange, You let it go the first time, but and then all of a sudden it's like, I made this in your hair. It got a little weird. I'm glad we got out of there.
Where'd you get my hair?
Where'd you get my hair? Because I've been looking for it, man. And those types of visitations, and we were all dealing with some level of kind of looking for ourselves, aren't we?
Searching. Maybe.
Some people have it better than others, man. There's some people that just seemingly they start off on a better foot than other people do, and then every once in a while, someone just seemingly has this run of bad luck that makes them feel like, I just got to get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just fuck this place.
And what do? You get up and you bail. You move upwards in a quick, almost like there's some sort of tension that you're pushing against that propels you up. Like what? I'll think of it later, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
you hop.
Something. There's a hopping.
You hop.
There's a hopping.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with that comes hopefully some resolution about what you're looking for. Maybe I'm a
soft
big fan,
landing.
I'm a big fan of hero's journey stories.
Are you?
I am.
Oh, really?
Did you not know that about me?
No, most of us are. Because it's like everywhere.
Well, whether we
you haven't
like
done
it
the
or
Joseph
not.
Campbell thing?
I haven't
Joseph
done,
Campbell, you can do it with everything.
I haven't done the Joseph Campbell thing. Like I can.
So you're just talking about the hero's journey without actually even knowing it?
I know what the archetype of the hero's journey is, but I haven't actually.
The archetype?
The archetype. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I might. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Was it?
Yeah.
Is that a
I
myth?
mean, as long as you think there's an archetype in the hero's journey, okay, that's good.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
go.
I
ahead,
don't really
Alex.
have much to say about it. I don't believe in that anymore. Remember when Adam told us we shouldn't believe in that?
He did.
I
say
believed
that.
that.
You believed that when Adam said you shouldn't believe in
Yeah.
that? Well,
The hero's journey, our children, we can tell them about the hero's journey. It helps push a story along. But yeah, other than that. Now, archetypes,
yeah.
those are some of my favorite Ferraris.
They're fast.
The Archetype 1
The Archetype 1.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the 4.
with a 5.7, Archetype 5.7.
But it's a 5.7
Yeah.
on the Jurgen scale.
Do you know that the seats of Ferraris are handmade at some point, and depending on if the person who made them was taught by the original leather crafter, your Ferrari might be pedigreed at a higher level and therefore juried at a higher level and might win a prize. Not your Ferrari yet. You need to get that thing off the cinder blocks.
No. We're talking about my
Yeah.
Ferrari. The one that certainly exists and is right outside in the street right now, just waiting for me to... Ferrari is an Italian car.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I've never been.
The
to Italy.
Lamborghini is another Italian.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And the
And the
Gigi.
Dino Laurentiis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Fulci.
Yeah. The Fulci.
Classic Fulci.
And the Argento.
The Dario series.
The Dario Argento.
And lesser known Asia series, which came with the top down a lot. Right?
That is so meta. There's a listener out there who just
Fell in love.
had a heart attack and just went, I can die now.
There's a very
Yeah.
small hole that got ripped into the universe somewhere in Hackensack, New Jersey right now.
Yeah.
Because someone was listening to us and went, oh, too much. Too much. You guys are too good. That's what
Wow.
we deliver to the table.
Yeah.
That's what we bring here. We're 15 minutes
we
in and
deliver it to the table.
we just tore a hole in the universe.
Yeah.
Okay? This is what we do. You invite us into your home and we destroy it with our wit and physics-defying humor.
And candor.
I'm a big fan of Candor.
I really appreciate
big
your
fan of
candor.
That's the brand
Yeah.
of this seltzer.
Yeah.
Candor Seltzer.
I love Candor Seltzer.
I know.
Why is there only one?
You know what? It's delicious too. I mean, I have more in the fridge.
Yeah.
It's too bad we're recording.
Yeah. Well, I could keep them entertained while you ran to the...
I doubt you could. But
I could, you know what? You know what's a really big hit? I'll just read them something from a book. Those are great podcasts, George. Yeah. Why don't I just open up a story and read them one?
you mean the podcast that I do when you go out of town?
you do
selfish
that?
bastard.
No. I wasn't bagging on anything that you would do.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, thank
no,
God.
No. I'll just roll on over here and select a story off the wall.
Kevin, we both know that those books are entirely empty.
Yeah. Those are hollow like
They're
the
hollowed
IKEA.
out.
Actually, the IKEA ones aren't. They're just weird.
That is a weird thing that you can like go to IKEA and just those books on the shelves. Like you can buy those too. If you want to just decorate your shelves.
Is that vapid? Is that a hollow existence? A guy's like, yeah, and give me the rack of books too. And if I have towels, do people think I'm dead? Oh, I'll need towels then. Put towels up in there and
My friend David.
how do I dissolve a hooker with acid?
Classic IKEA.
Classic, yeah.
IKEA scenario.
Yeah.
My friend David just bought a house and he didn't want to go furniture shopping, so he said, hey, can I just buy all the staging furniture that you guys had in here? And they submitted him an invoice, and he was very quickly like, okay, I'm not going to do this, because he saw one line item was, glass vase filled with pasta $175. So I love that.
The stuff that was set up in his house.
In his house, yeah. Like nothing like a glass vase.
Did
filled
he
with pasta.
think that might be a deal? Because I would probably think that would be very expensive.
That is very expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he didn't think it was a deal.
No.
No, he opted to not purchase the pasta.
I'm just amazed that he kind of actually thought, like, maybe there's a way where all this works out.
I
for
get
me.
that line of thinking. You know what?
But you
write you a check for everything.
Oh
that's
no,
in
I
here.
understand, but don't you think you'd be like, yeah, but that's probably going to be very expensive.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, people are imperfect. What are you gonna do?
They are. All people.
And they have been for a very long time.
Long time.
Thousands and thousands of years of evolutionary progress.
And imperfection.
And we land on imperfect human beings. So, quiet movie we watched. Right?
I don't know. I watched it on an airplane, so I heard a the whole time over my and quiet because I was like, these earphones need to be louder. And
that is exactly the sound that airplanes make.
We're going through some turbulence right now. We're just gonna crank up the engines and go higher.
How much do you pay attention to the sounds beneath your feet on an airplane? None. Every once in a while, I hear a little like, and I'm like, what is that?
Well, besides the landing gear coming out.
Yeah, don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
I
just.
think it's kind of cool. I mean, think about it without it.
No, I'd be a fan. Like we should try that.
Whole different experience.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
So very quiet, very very reflective. This movie was very.
I mean, maybe. I mean, if you say so.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I mean, and I didn't watch it on a plane, so.
Yeah.
Watched it from the comfort of my own
with
studio
with
here.
Good volume.
It's pretty good volume.
Good volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No worrying, no crying babies, no drunk guys throwing up because they had too many little bottles of Kahlua. But
that was, you know what? In this movie, they show him on a flight to Europe, and he's got like 8 bottles of booze. Has it ever played out that way? I'm pretty sure I am getting them 2 at a time or 1 at a time. I'm definitely not keeping them lined up so I don't get served more.
Yeah, I'm definitely not lining them up
that
like
was
that.
hard to believe.
Yeah, there were a few tiny moments in this movie that took me out of it a bit, and not even like that. It was just there were moments specifically where dialogue I felt was too phony but not clever enough. Like normally I'll forgive like trying to be overly clever dialogue. I mean, I'm like a Joss Whedon fan and he's the king of that crap. Or somebody just always knows the right thing to say. But there were just weird moments that just hit me like, oh, that stood out a little weird. So well, I mean, who the fuck are we, man?
Who are we?
Yeah. I mean, I'm George or Kevin, but
we're Bella Dolce, dripping she-beast fornication.
Oh, the she-beast fornication.
A little she-beast fornication.
Mi scusi. My dead wife.
Is that your tentacle?
Oh, slimy she-beasts.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Bella Dolce, dripping she-beast fornication.
This propelling I was talking about before.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but notice that it was. Wait a minute. What season are we in right now? Is it still winter?
I don't know. We're in L.A. We're all under the Prozac skies.
That's true.
Yeah.
What comes after winter?
Spring.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
See? You know what I call that? I call that the double bluff. Yeah, everybody thought that I was going to go for the whole tensile metal thing, leading that into spring. Nope. Went for the seasons.
I did like
pretty
your
good,
segue
man.
there. But,
pretty good. I'm writing a grant.
Yeah.
On how to get money using spring.
You? Grant?
Sure. Me, Grant.
You, Grant.
You, Grant.
You, Grant.
He is known to hang out with Yan Yu Yum Yum Yum.
Inway. So, yeah, you clicked on it, so you knew long before we told you that we're going to discuss Spring.
Spring.
Which is another movie by the two dudes who made The Endless. And
Justin Benson and Aaron Moorehead.
It was done well. Maybe their names are going to stick, maybe not. They never really contacted us about wanting to be friends after the last podcast.
I got a feeling, though, and it wasn't from any evidence, that really what they wanted us to do was just another podcast where we uncomfortably talk about wanting to be their buddies.
Maybe that
right, Justin?
And post it to their Facebook page.
And certainly tie it to a brick and throw it through their bedroom window.
Right.
Copy of
right.
it.
Because I'm pretty sure for some of the pictures they posted on their site, I'm pretty sure I know the area of the city they live in. So that's
I know closer than that.
Oh, you do?
Sure.
Yeah.
I can't really speak about it now, but
But
I haven't been frequenting the places that they eat or anything like that.
No.
Or pretending that I'm a waiter.
Yeah.
Where
do you think? What about you ever been to Millie's in Silver Lake, buddy?
Never been to Millie's. No.
Never been to Millie's?
No. Never been to Millie Ways?
No.
It's the universe. That's the restaurant at the end of the universe in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
No, man.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, no, yeah, I believe you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
At the end of before the universe.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's cute. You know what? It sounds pretty archetypal.
Is it archetypal?
I don't know, man.
It's a classic hero's journey, Kevin. All right.
Yeah.
If you read Joseph Campbell, you'd know about that. A classic.
Okay.
Anyway.
Wow. All right.
These guys brought us The Endless, which we talked about before, and that was fantastic. This movie reminded me of that in its tone. It was very careful in what it was trying to get across.
There's a thing they got going on.
Very efficient.
I like it.
The humor was very, very, it was punctuated with cool humor. Every now and then there'd just be a moment where somebody says something and the other character has a little rebuttal, and it's funny and it's kind of out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, that was light, and I dug that.
Very cool.
And this is a little bit more of a horror fare that they got going on this time than it is subtle science fiction, what we call sometimes lo-fi sci-fi. This is a little bit more gruesome, just a little bit, not crazy.
Yep.
But
the right gruesome,
appropriate gruesome, and really at its heart, it's a love story.
Straight up.
I was not
Kermit the
prepared
Frog
for that. It's never not a love story. It's kind of just cruises through this entire flick. You want to set up the world? Go for it.
Yeah, we have an American who...
his name is Evan.
Evan, through a string of bad situations, gets some money, loses some parents, and leaves town, goes to Italy. And
the opening of the movie is him watching his mom die.
Yeah.
And we're already kind of fuck, yeah, we're in it.
And I was I gotta say, I was already thinking of how will this play in, and I think they took the right amount of time to get us into the story where the cool stuff happened. Mm-hmm. And I had expectations because I liked The Endless a lot, and I dug this movie again and didn't find much to pick apart with it, but. So that being said, the dude gets to Italy. He runs around with, I think, the quintessential Australian that we've all run into overseas. I don't know if you have, but you can usually catch up with a guy like that. Maybe he wasn't Australian. He made me think of the Australians.
Yeah, I took him as being British, but he's without a doubt if you've been to any part of Europe, you've run into somebody.
Well,
just
we
like
ran
this
into
guy.
in Japan. I ran into two Australians that we spent a half a day with, and they had Operation Gaijin Smash to be like ugly white people who would like run and jump over like the train booths and stuff, and like get loaded. And it was Gaijin Smash, man, and it just reminded me of that kind of thing. So he does the basic hash smoke, go walk and look at the waves with people you meet in Europe, and stays at a hostel, and then sees a really pretty girl. And then he sees her again. And she's living in the small town he's sort of settled in. He gets a job on a farm. By the way, that farmer was an amazing actor. I don't know if accidental or not, but that was
that's
so,
to me.
So
I went, that is
freaking
found
cool.
Like I went, they found this guy in this. We're not exactly sure what town this is on the Italian coast, but it is mostly pretty rural. It's on the ocean, and it's gorgeous. There's sprawling shots of this like labyrinth-like city, and already we're sort of in a kind of monsters. Like there were shots of this that to me felt like
That
1970s
beach.
Hammer Dracula movies. Like
Well,
where
and
it's
also,
scary,
but
also beautiful.
That mysterious, because I knew something was going to go on. Just there were shots of that cove that had raging waters in it. That, sure enough, when a girl disappears in that cove, I just knew that there was something strong working on that coast, because there was some kind of just the ways they kept coming back to it and stuff. For me, this put me in the Dagon mood, which I do believe is one of the higher quality Lovecraft attempts at movies. You've heard us here say that perhaps The Endless is by a technicality the best Lovecraft flick made. But
these guys definitely seem steeped in that,
and that's way cool with me. But anyway, so this strange town where like the flopping of a fish on a rock is way more than that, and there's not one of those in there, but we get caterpillars on leaves, spiders in webs, dead birds, living birds, just this sort of like nature doing its thing.
Full-on dead livestock eventually, as things get a little bit more macabre. This whole the whole atmosphere around this town kind of, for me, set up a little bit of this idea that I got this weird image of like ghost stories in that town of like, the witch woman who haunts the newcomers to the town. Like if years of this person had passed.
There was all sorts of things that were getting played.
Yeah.
Is the whole town a cult? That's the Dagon thing.
Yeah.
Is the whole town a cult?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when there's a little girl who's drowned in a storm, I'm like, this is how the whole town covers up that they sacrifice someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we've got ancient, immortal, weird, pagan shit going down.
Yeah, there's a lot of... one thing these guys do really, really well is they'll throw a clue right in front of your face and then... point behind you. You. There's a lot of bait and switch. There's a lot of stuff that's just like, look over here. Oh, wait, no. Now look over here, because this is completely different. Our young man, Evan, meets this girl when we first see her. She is gorgeous. I immediately went, well, nothing good is going to come of this.
Yes!
Like that attractive woman staring at you, exchanging smiles.
Who busts your balls when you don't go home and have sex with her?
Go home and have sex.
Yeah,
with her.
She's like, well, no, I guess you screwed that up.
And it's important to note that that's where this starts: is that she is aggressively pursuing him to have sex with her. He decides he's going to stay behind. You get the feeling because he wants to run into this girl again, and he stays behind, gets a job as a farm hand on a local farm with the beautiful found Italian man. And runs into her again, and they start courting each other. It is very, very quickly established that weird stuff is going on. Like, so quickly, it's almost like, whoa, we're in this movie now. Like they sleep together. There's a panning shot. It's a very typical panning shot over the sleeping man, and down his arm is the beautiful woman. And holy crap, she is disintegrating, and veins are pulsing in her
necro blood veins are swelling in her arms.
Immediately, I thought vampire. Like I actually went to that, and then it shoots quick to her, emaciated, walking in an alleyway, jumping on top of a cat.
Weird, yeah.
And you are suddenly you went from
weird ring body, twisted woman form.
You went from a man in Europe exploring his own options and spirituality and all this to I'm now in a monster movie. And still never not a love movie. Never not a love story. We find out a lot more as this goes on, and but we're kind of constantly, again, the bait and switch is going, We're trying to figure out what's going on here.
What's the source?
What is the source of this? What are the rules of this world?
Mm-hmm.
She is a student of science, and an artist, and she's into the arts. And we're kind of along for the ride on this one, and it's pretty cool, I gotta say. The thing that kept on popping out for me throughout this movie was that we talked a little bit about the bugs, the worms. There's dead flowers. There's blooming flowers. Initially, I'm like, this is a supernatural presence. This woman is something supernatural and ancient and old. Part of that is true. We eventually get a full reveal on what's going on here, and it's nothing I ever thought it would be. Like, I kind of pigeonholed it as we are waiting for either vampire, and then all of a sudden there's a transformation scene. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she's a werewolf, and I was mistaken before. And it just continually keeps you on your toes while you're getting to know more about, like, what's going on in this relationship between Evan and Louise. Like, it's cool stuff.
And so, you're trying to figure out what's going on, and that is fun for me. I call that fun. So she turns out that she's been depicted in art throughout the centuries. She was a child when Mount Vesuvius erupted and froze Pompeii in ash. And
so she is over 2,000 years old.
Yeah. And she has this cool kind of time travel-y kind of way she can talk about, like how Napoleon wasn't really like that, or those lines you get about the time travel type things.
There's a cheeky scene where they're sitting in a museum and she's apparently been depicted in more than one work of art.
Yes,
that throughout the ages, she is the byproduct of and we get a full-on scientific explanation behind this, and this is one of the reasons we are talking about this movie on this podcast, because this is not fantasy. It's not necessarily Lovecraftian, other than like the visual influence maybe, but she is a hereditary byproduct of a mutation in which every 20 years she can convert embryonic stem cells in her body. So she has to become pregnant, and those embryonic stem cells can be converted into complete regeneration. So she becomes a new person every 20 years. During this process, she starts to revert to older, more grotesque and primitive mutations of
biologically occurring species
of along our evolutionary
all the
chain.
Expressions in our evolution.
So we have a moment where our hero believes he's crashing down her door to save her from some conflict, because he sees through the crack in the door that there's blood on the floor, and he's treated to half-naked, beautiful woman who has a squid bottom.
Like everything and like a from beyond, like contorted.
There are chicken feathers, and and she is constantly trying to fight back the progression of these mutations so she can buy some time, because she knows She's not in control when these happen. She knows she's dangerous when these happen. She is now a student of science, and this has only happened for her in the last, she's been around 2,000 years, in the last like 40, 50
decades,
years.
she says,
she's been able to find some level of controlling it through a solution that she found through an actual medicine. I love that the syringe has just a little frowny face on it, you know?
Yeah. But she'll have to resort, she'll eat a rabbit to stave off the surfacing of the genetic expression.
And she has even dipped into the occult, too.
Right,
Like,
which is
I
cool.
love that.
So in answer to, oh, I bet this is some supernatural thing, she's like, no, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've done these practices basically to get like the blood work out of it or something. You know what I mean? Like she dabbled just to, I don't know. For me, it still all resulted in like having animal blood in you or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she'll eat a dude if she has to.
Which, you know, she does at one point. She I mean, you could say accidentally, in that she's not in control. She accidentally murders an American tourist who's trying to rape her. Doesn't realize she's turning into a ferocious reptile at the time.
Yeah.
And was there like a penile injury?
That whole area was bitten off.
Oh God!
And he's found on a rock with that destroyed. And,
yeah, he's found on the rocks of the shore, and you can just see that there is a giant maw in his groin area.
Like a gator piranha ripped it off.
We've all been there, man.
Yeah.
Summer nights.
Gator piranha.
Classic.
Summer nights in Jersey.
Summer nights in Jersey, man.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times that my penis has been violently ripped off by a gator piranha. It's a rite of passage. Rite of passage, Kevin.
Yeah, it's archetypal.
We are treated to, because we are given such a concise explanation of what this woman is, we're treated to a rarity in that we have a monster without the mythological aspect of it. We have a monster that kind of makes sense, you know, in a way. Like it's not supernatural, you know. She talks a lot about how, you know, magic is just science that hasn't been understood yet, and that is what she is. She's just learning about herself. Like we said, it is a love story, and Evan has fallen in love with Louise. Now, she states to him, and again, remember, her first interaction with him is, I need you to bone me because I need to get pregnant. Because if I don't get pregnant, I die. She needs to get pregnant every 20 years so she can recreate herself. So she's looking for anybody. She tells him, I'm not in love with you. And you find out that
she's
that
like,
can
this
be...
is never going to work.
Yeah, I am out of here.
But having seen her in the half-transformed phase, he's like, I think I can work with this.
Right. Yeah. That scene is actually kind of great when she's explaining herself to him, and he is running kind of away from her through the labyrinth city and keeps coming up against dead ends. It's a kind of a punctuative moment where it's like, this is where this is going. You're not getting away from each other. You know, like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and so he says, look, Dan, all right, just hang with me. You know what? I know you turn into a monster. You've got the injections. Just hang with me before you rebirth, okay? And they go out on a little journey, and she takes him to Pompeii,
where she grew up,
and shows him her mother and her father coiled together there in relief.
Kind of started to lose me here. This is not.
I like this at
It was at that point when, because she says to him, if I experience love biochemically, you know, which I never have before, what'll happen to me is that the presence of that hormone in my body, oxytocin, will prohibit those embryonic stem cells from taking effect, and I will remain as I am. Rather than being recreated as a new person, I will remain as I am, and I will live a normal life and die a normal death.
Yeah.
He then embarks upon a journey to convince her that you are in love with me. And I took this stance, and this probably says more about me than it does Evan or Louise, of like, dude, no, you do not give up immortality for this jabroni from Southern California.
Jabroni.
I tossed in jabroni, yeah.
Yeah.
I do that every now and then now.
Well,
And then you don't get to, Evan, you don't get to try and convince this unique creature who is capable of living for thousands of years that she's in love with you. And,
sure. And listener,
it bugged
you
me.
might be relieved that at this point I wasn't going, what the fuck, like George was. I was spared that thought. I, however, in answer to George's choice, immortality or love, I felt that the guy who got attacked and killed put the police on a trail for a murderer, and just like science was revealing to her more about her own bio makeup, I do believe it was a matter of time before she was going to get caught and perish as a beast, or worse, be caught and experimented on. And I think she's at an intersection now where it was viable. I did fill in the blanks that she probably had suitors throughout times. I think that's a common theme, like with the time travel-y sort of thing, or the immortals, right?
Right.
That you, I forget. There's like a movie where like, I'll love you until I die, and then you'll go. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, like people who like stick with someone until they die, and then that person lives on. But I think that she was able to be like, I'm going to get caught, or maybe this is boring. I don't know.
Well, the ending
I didn't see it as a joy. See, it was not a gift because it was getting worse for her, and I do not think it was. I'm a biological creature that's wonderful. It was like, this is going to be bad. It's going to get worse.
Well, I see. I didn't get that. I got that this was she. Well, no, she does say, I guess, that several times that these are getting harder to control. So
Yeah.
maybe I mean, that he came along just when he was supposed to, in order to save her from whatever was going to happen. I found out there was a bit of a loophole in that she mentions being able to recreate her identity. That she has to always get new federal ID numbers.
Yeah, no,
and,
she's talking about what a hassle it is. She's like, you know how much work it is?
But I mean, as far as like running from the cops, like I feel like she's been around 2,000 years. She'd probably be savvy enough to. And not only that, but she talks about having places in, Rome and, England.
I heard all that information. Yeah. I mean, like, just commit one murder and try not to get caught.
Yeah. Well, but she's probably killed a lot of people in the last.
It's getting tougher. Anyways,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, man.
None of this matters because what the end of the movie is, listeners, we're gonna
spoil this for you.
Yeah. The end of the movie is them talking about the finite nature of Evan's life. She asks him to kind of elaborate a little bit on that finite, and he gives.
And there's a sun rising.
Because
she's like, it's like 3 more days, and on the sunrise, I'll make the transformation. And you better be far away if I go monster.
Yeah. And by the way, here's a bottle of wine. So let's drink that bottle of wine while I'm telling you that you need to run. And he gives. It's probably one of the sweetest little speeches, while also being incredibly corny and kind of dumb. And it seemed like just shooting from the cuff. Like it almost just looks like it wasn't written, and they just went, "Hey, Evan, man, just like say whatever the hell you want."
She goes, "Tell me about the finite," and he's like, "I don't know, man. It's like how many days do you have left?" And it like felt like if someone asked me and I was tired, and I like almost like how I'd answer my boy.
Yeah,
right. Like tenderly, it's like how many days you have left, and you got to remember to, count the good things. And like he's just kind of trying to talk to someone who's going through something like Like maybe a kid would ask you while they had a tummy ache, right? For an answer.
Then Mount Vesuvius starts to erupt behind them.
Smoke.
It was erupting. There's an erupting volcano behind
With
them.
spewing lava?
No.
No.
But it doesn't just happen.
Volcanoes, dude, I watched a volcano in Costa Rica every day that was dormant steam. Like have its own steam.
I got the hint that was... No, I do know that is
okay.
a thing that happens, but I got the feeling that was a byproduct of her transformation. That she was affecting the environment like she does with the flowers, and that something monumental had happened.
Elemental. That's it makes it better.
Yeah, well, that's what
for me.
But I mean, but it also
sound like
made
it
me
made
go,
it worse for you.
No, it made me go like, are they gonna die in a volcanic eruption now? Is that what's gonna happen? No, probably not.
So while he's describing the finite, it shows him talking, and the sun rises, and you hear that.
Yeah, like something's gonna
the
happen.
Slippery, weird transformation sounds you've gotten used to. And then they stop, and it pans out, and it's her. And she stayed.
Fade to black.
And it ends.
Yeah.
And you know what? That worked.
It did not work for me.
I'm not hearing you say that tonight. I think you admitted you liked it.
I did. I certainly liked it. I would say this is another example of a good movie that these guys did. I didn't love the lead. I didn't love the guy who played Evan. You know, he kind of bugged me a bit. I really loved Louise. I really loved the farmer. I loved the British dudes. There's just something about the lead that didn't land with me.
Well, and that's
I don't necessarily. There's an aw shucksiness to him.
I like that. Like there's a point like he says, "I'll quit smoking for you," and it was like all he had. Try and convince her, and that all worked within his character dynamics. I also, I do not see things the same way you do with like actors and stuff.
But
so
there was things that I just had there was a cynicism to my viewing him where I even when he cursed, I was just kind of like, this does not read as genuine to me. Like this seems so acting to me, And
well, in a way, I think what these guys do well is it is acting. Unlike the full leap, it's like, in the last movie, it's like, it's those two dudes who made and wrote the movie in the movie. And I feel that what's done really well here is a small budget thing. This isn't the cream of the crop acting who make it all disappear for you. And I'm not saying that budget equals great acting, but it felt like a smaller flick where some of that shows in the people.
I thought this had, I agree with that, but there was scale to this that I thought was not in The Endless. Like it was a location movie. There was lots of sprawling shots of Italy.
I think so. I think they do drone shots. I think those.
I'm sure that. Yeah, I figured they were drone shots.
But because I feel like that's what I would do with a lower budget.
Yeah.
I also did though. They spent more money on effects probably. I'd be curious to know what movie cost more. The Endless is after Spring, and these guys chronology.
Yeah. So yet not connected. Like there's no.
No, this one stands alone.
This is a
Resolution is connected to Endless, and I think the next stuff they're doing is connected to Endless. And you said they're doing a biopic on.
I read today that they're doing a biopic on Aleister Crowley.
Which ought to be weird.
Which is, kind of an interesting choice.
Mm-hmm.
But, there were a ton of things that came up. Like, I was like, there's pieces of An American Werewolf in London with the journey this guy's taking. There's, little pieces of, 500 Days of Summer and, Roger Ebert apparently
compared it. Is that the sequel to 900 Days of Sodom?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, apparently that happened in spring, Sodom, and then after that was 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah. And then Stalingrad is the movie that's the sequel to that.
That is about a graduate student who, during World War II, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a
graduate of Stalin University.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go
They're
fascists.
Students at that university, always putting things off.
Oh, lazy.
Yeah.
I'll get around to invading the rest of Europe.
Go fascists.
Go fascists.
No.
That's my
Stalin
team.
was a fascist? I thought
How
he
was
was a
Stalin-
commie.
Well,
Can you be
Wait a
a
minute,
fascist communist?
was Stalin? That wasn't communism. Wait, hold on. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Mussolini. Yeah.
Fascist.
Yeah.
Total fucking
Stalin,
fascist.
total fascist.
Italian fascist.
Italian fascist.
Fascist pig.
Probably in this movie. I bet he was the old guy farmer.
Yeah.
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 That guy was adorable.
He was great.
I wanted
'Cause
him
he-
to find love.
Well,
there was a moment.
So,
where,
okay, one more thing.
That is
the
a
picture
really-
of her with the wife that he lost?
Yeah.
I think it was her. I think the farmer fell in love with a version of that woman from before. And I didn't see it clear enough, but there's a black and white of the farmer's wife, and I bet one eye is green and one isn't dark. I bet. That was another hunch I had about that, by the way. And
Interesting. I did not make that. I didn't make that leap, but
I
I'm
kind of
with
felt
you.
like it.
Yeah.
But
with
he
you.
did cool stuff. He did the funny, he showed him where to dig and how to do it.
Yeah.
And he goes, "How many do I do?" And he's like, "All."
Oh.
And it's
Oh.
like all the trees.
All of them? It's
Yeah.
like
All of
okay, so now do you root rod? Do you get like a moose skull and you bury it under there? I was friends with somebody who told me that there's a big aspect of kind of voodoo arts, and he's like, yeah, go in the shed and get the spray.
Yeah.
Get the spray. Okay. All right. Good. They had a lot of sweet moments together, those two, and I dug that. I dug that this was really a kind of quiet character movie more than anything else, and
But way cool. What about the scene when they're in the church, when they're on the road, and she starts to transform, and he goes, you got a little
is there something on my face?
something showing there, and she's got a half
Full-on.
zombie face with a glassy red eye and a little tail coming out.
The Italian.
See, that's where it was like fun for them. I didn't necessarily care how it went. It was charming.
It was
And that
completely
was cool
charming
because
She
it was a freaking monster movie, making me think of all the other things about monster movies, like what's the source, who's the cult, what's happening, how did this go on, and
she was fantastic. I found myself rooting for an unhappy ending. I guess I found myself rooting for
you
believe that or not. Believe it or not.
believe it or
man.
not, yeah.
Believe it or not.
wow,
Yeah.
through a scanner darkly, George.
Johnny Sunny Disposition over here, which is my legal name.
Yeah. That's Johnny Sunny Deposition.
Sunny Disposition.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I need to go to court tomorrow.
Do you?
Sure.
Oh,
Parking tickets.
yeah. Finally caught you, didn't
Finally
they?
caught me. Why do you think I don't live in Highland Park
Yeah,
anymore?
woo.
Not just the doll heads and the hair statue.
Mm-hmm.
Parking tickets.
They get you, man.
They'll get you, man. I'm not allowed in Boston, Massachusetts
Mm-hmm.
anymore.
Yeah, well,
Go fascists.
yeah. They don't like they. I'm not even gonna say that.
So,
Can't say that.
yeah, careful.
Don't.
We just went an entire episode.
Whoa.
I believe without alienating anybody but
Fascists.
fish people and fascists.
But you're allowed to alienate fascists now.
You're not allowed to
Because
alienate
we can be better than them.
aliens.
We are better than them. We're better than fascists.
We should, you know what? We should really do something about all those fascists.
Oh, God.
We were so
Yeah.
close.
Oh, man.
Well, go watch Spring.
Watch
And
Spring.
Watch Spring. I need to watch Spring for my watch. It broke. I
Yeah.
gotta get a watch Spring. Go watch Spring. Justin Benson, Aaron Moorehead. These guys, I got a feeling they're gonna be making a couple really. We come across these filmmakers like the guys who made this, the guys who made Primer and Upstream Color. Like, these guys haven't really gotten.
When's Upstream Color Dude gonna make a new movie?
This is what I'm talking about. They haven't gotten like, hey, here's $50 million.
I think it's coming for these guys.
Yeah, I have a feeling these guys are going to be well-known.
And you know what
names
else
in
is
horror
coming
and
for these
sci-fi
guys?
world.
Lunch with Kevin and George from Busy Daddies Do Sci-Fi.
Whether you like it or
So,
not.
Just like the listener, you, Justin Benson or Aaron Moorehead, you could email us, Twitter us, Twanger us.
Please blurp us.
Yeah.
Give us the blurp.
And, if I'm sitting in your shoes, I'm like, wow, these guys are like our movies. Cool, that happens. But they're in L.A. and they sound cool and funny and sane. And, why not? It's kind of like an L.A. story, right?
Well, what's funny
an
is
LA story.
I actually am standing in Justin's shoes right now because I stole them from his gym locker.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Jim Locker, is that his head chief of security?
James Locker.
James Locker. Oh, wow.
We are
Not
out
that
of
we're
ice
desperate.
cream.
Not that we're desperate.
We are out of ice cream. Kevin has not had any seltzer tonight. And we'll be back, man. I think that's it, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Dagon. Watch Dagon.
Dagon. I need to
George,
watch.
you watch
I
Dagon.
need to watch Dagon.
It's great.
You want to do Dagon?
We could do Dagon.
All right.
Do Dagon.
Let's do I feel like this day is gone.
Yeah, it's gone, all right. Good night, nurse.
Good night, nurse.